If you've seen guitar players play all over the neck, different positions, different registers, maybe the same riff, same song, in a million different ways, you're in the right place, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to help you open the neck up to your rhythm playing, which is down the road going to open it up to lead and melody playing as well. Welcome to Triad Bootcamp. We are going to take a 3-chord song and play it everywhere so that we can use it as an exercise to try to master our triads and understand how to move things around the neck and make rhythmic choices that are going to sound great. So all of this is going to be tabbed out with chord diagrams available at the link below. You can check that out, but let's just jump right into it. So we're going to look at Me and Julio, Down by the Schoolyard, classic Paul Simon song, and we're going to look at the opening riff. Now the eagle-eared amongst you might recognize that the actual riff goes like this. Not. And I'm going to make a small change. We are going to do it this way, because then every chord we play is a major chord, and that cuts our work down to the core elements. It makes a big difference. So if you can do this version, which is like the 99% of the song version, then you'll have no problem making that adjustment to get the actual voicing that he plays. But that opens up a whole can of worms, so we're going to just simplify it for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn our major triads on 2 string sets. And right off the bat, I'll show you where we're aiming for. 1 chord played root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th root, 5th root, 3rd on the top 3 strings, and then that same chord played on the next string sets. And what this is going to allow us to do is to combine different triad shapes with different chord letters to get our lick, which is essentially 3 chords in a bunch of different positions. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the top 3 strings, and we're going to start with an A chord, because that's the first chord of the song. We might as well just get right to work. We're going to start with this shape. And this is actually kind of off of the end of the neck. It includes an open note. So what we need to do is we need to visualize that when we move this around, we're going to be having to play that open note. So if I wanted to go from A to B, I got to bring that note up, right? Open string. Now my preferred fingering is probably ring, pinky, index. And what we're playing here is root, 3rd, 5th. 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 All different chords. So we got to know 2 things. 1, what's the shape? I can play shape. Can I play it everywhere? Where can't I play it? And 2, what letter is it? Well, that's based on the root note, which is on the G string. So this is an A, which makes this an A chord, 1, 3, 5. This is a B, 1, 3, 5. C, 1, 3, 5. You get the idea? D, E, F, G. I gotta know the shape. I gotta know where the root note is within the shape, and actually, I gotta know the notes on the string. Because otherwise, where do I place the shape? So those are your 3 things, and we need to know that for every single chord shape. There's 6 in this video, so that's a lot. It's a lot of work. Just stick with it. So 1, 3, 5. Bunch of different chords. Let's go to our next inversion. So an inversion is where we usually play 1, 3, 5. Now we're going to play 3, 5, 1. So here's 3, 5, 1. So instead of 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1. And what this really means is that 3 and 5 have moved. And 1 has gone up the octave. So these 2 notes, the top 2 strings on the first chord, are the same as the bottom 2 strings on this chord. 3 and 5 have not moved. 1 has gone up the octave. And that's how it's going to work. Your lowest note is going to go up the octave on top, and the next 2 notes are going to stay the same, but they're going to shift across 2 strings. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1. Now, I got another shape. I got another root note. Index finger on the high E string. I got another notes on the high E string. A, G, B, C, C sharp. If I don't know any of those names, where do I put that chord? I can't. Got another shape, got another root note within the shape, gotta know the notes on the strings. Let's keep going. We got 1, 3, 5. We got 3, 5, 1. We got 5, 1, 3. So in this chord, the third is the lowest note. That's going to go up the octave to here. These two are the fifth and the 1. Those are going to go to the next string set. Same notes, different position, different string set. So I have 3, 5, 1. I have 5, 1, 3. 1, 3, 5. 3, 5, 1. 5, 1, 3. If you can do that, you are so far along in your journey of playing great rhythm all around the neck. Now we just need to talk about moving them around to different chords. Now before we move on, we need to know our 3 things about this shape. Shape, root note, B string. Notes on the B string. A chord. E flat, E chord, E flat chord. F sharp chord. If you can play D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, you're going to be in great shape. So the first thing you need to know is, can I play one shape and every natural chord with that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Can I play that every shape, every natural chord? F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Third shape, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, every natural chord. And then, can I play one chord with all 3 shapes? A. The 3 chords we're going to look at are A, D, and E. D, D, D. E, E, E. This is all in the document, the chord charts and the tabs that we need, but this is a fundamental skill that a lot of people are lacking. I know that I have gaps in my playing. I might be really quick to that D chord, but ask me for a D flat and all of a sudden I'm scrambling, right? So one of the things that we can do is try to identify our own weaknesses and take steps to address them. That's one of the best ways to get better. If you can figure out what your particular struggle is and take concrete steps to address that particular struggle, you're going to make progress like crazy. If you don't address your struggle, you're not going to move forward. If I think I'm having trouble with chord shapes and I do this all day and I get super fast, but my real problem is that I don't know the notes on the neck. As soon as I go to something new like E flat or B flat, I'm going to be lost because I can play shapes really quick, but I don't know where any of them are supposed to go. So it's your job to figure out exactly what your weakness is and practice that. Have the discipline to practice your weakness, not just play something fun that goes to your strength. So let's put it all together. Our lick is A, D, A, E. And we need to play that in 3 positions. A, and I kind of play this one sometimes with my first finger getting those 2 notes, but that'll work a little bit better probably. A, D, A, E. And then we come up here, A, D, A, E. That's the next step. Can I put these chords not into the context of one another, A, D, 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 but mix them together? I know this is A. What's my closest D chord in this position? D, A, E. Now I'm going to give you a little like teaser at what's in the PDF. We're going to have the chords in a position all stacked in fretboards. So what I'm going to do is kind of play down the page. I'm going to play A, I'm going to play D, and I'm going to play E. Now I've got to put those in the right order for the song, A, D, A, E, but you get the idea. This is how we're going to visualize it. You're going to have all the triads on a fretboard and you're going to pick a position. This is my A, my D, my A, my E. So the question here, a little like stopping point, why? Why bother? Well, essentially, this is where you get to exercise your taste. There's a million songs that have been written with A, D, and E, and yet some of them stand out. Or you could argue that all of them are slightly different. What makes them different? It's the choices that musicians make when creating the songs and writing them. So if you're writing songs or you're arranging covers for your band or you're just trying to, do your own thing, the question is not, oh man, like another ADE song, I'm not going to sound interesting. The question is, how do I put my own spin on this? Maybe I'm a guitar player who loves to play up here. Maybe I'm a guitar player who just wants to play down here. We're going to get to that. So it's all about exercising our taste. Now let's go to the next string set. So what do I mean by that? Well, essentially, we're going to play triads not just on the top 3 strings, but the next set of 3 strings, so the D, G, B strings, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our A chord and we're going to move it down a string. So let's start with this triad, 3, 5, 1. What we're going to do is we're going to take this high A note and move it down to the D string. And here's our new triad. Now, we're about to get into something that's a little bit interesting and finicky, and that is the tuning discrepancies that happen on a guitar. The guitar is not a perfect instrument in the sense that it's never going to be perfectly in tune everywhere. And one of the things that I notice is some triads are really out of tune. And this one is one that kind of particularly strikes my ears. So I'm just going to take a second and listen to that. This note sounds flat. And in fact, if I bend it up ever so slightly, it sounds a little sweeter. I'll bend it back down. That bent up is a little more in tune than that. There is no real way to solve this problem. You can try, sweetened tunings. You can try squiggly frets. Most really great guitar players, I have noticed, will play or tune in a way that minimizes these things, or even favor or sweeten or kind of like finagle notes as they go. So that's something that I will either avoid, do a little vibrato, sweeten, or just comp really quickly on. You can't get around the tuning discrepancies on the guitar entirely. We have to make do. So this is one of the ways that you can make do. Maybe put a little vibrato. And it's a little bit less of an aggravation. So with that out of the way, just keep in mind that even with perfect intonation, perfect tuning, perfect nut, slot, perfect everything, you might have to sweeten some of these a little bit. It's a little bit finicky. Now, we need to know 3 things. The shape, the root note, now it's on the D string, and then the notes on the D string. A, G, G flat, F, B, C, sharp. Notice that? Sweetening that a little bit. If you can do those 3 things, play the shape, know the root note, find the note on the string, you can play that triad anywhere. So, goal 1, play that triad to every natural note. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Next, triad. We take our root third fifth. This root note is going up the octave. These 2 are going to be the same but down a string set. 5th root. And I'm still kind of sweetening that B string. Just pulling it slightly sharp. You could maybe try to stand on it a little bit harder with your fingers, but that doesn't really work for me. So I'll try to sweeten it a little bit. Root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th root. Where's the root note? B string. What are the notes on the B string? D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Those are the 3 things I need to do. Shape, root note, notes on the string. Next triad. This is a lot of work. So at any point, pause. Work on what you've got. 5th root, 3rd. So we're here, 3rd, 5th root. This lowest note is going to go up the octave. These 2 are going to go down a string set. Now I have this. 3rd, 5th root, 5th root, 3rd. This is one that I don't think needs to be sweetened, generally speaking, but you'll have to use your own ear and your own tuner and your own taste to deal with these discrepancies. Root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th root, 5th root, 3rd. So we do that for every chord. Now what's my root note? G string. What are the notes on the G string? A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. That's my chord for every root note, every natural note. So I can play every shape at every fret for every letter. Whatever those chords are, I know what those chords are, I can locate them all. Now I'm going to play them all in a row. I'm going to play A, A, A. I'm going to play D, D, D. And if I'm blowing through this, it's because it's in the PDF. E, 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 which is for free, by the way, at the link below. You can check it out. So now I've got all the triads, A, D, 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 E, E, E. I'm going to combine them into the chord change. I need to go from A to D. And then from A back to E. I need to go from A to D to A to E. I need to go from A to D to A to E. This is how you're going to be able to play chords everywhere, is you have to know them everywhere. Spoiler, there's no shortcut. The reason I'm able to play that A, D, A, E is because I know all 3 of those chords in that position. And the triads are how I know that. So your goal, this is tabbed out again, is we have 3 triad shapes on 2 string sets, so really 6 triad shapes. We want to play every triad shape up the neck to every astral note. We want to play every string set, so top 3 strings, for a chord or 2. Ideally, all 3 of the chords in our song. We rinse and repeat for the next set of triads on the D, G, B strings. 1 chord everywhere, the other chord everywhere, the other chord everywhere. And then each of those shapes for every natural note. Now finally, we put them into combinations to keep us in a position. So our 6 positions are down here on the top 3, and the next set of 3. And then right about here on the top 3, and the next set of 3. And then right about here. I guess I have to practice. And then right about here on the next set. And then if you want a bonus, do it at the octave of the open position. If you can do this, you have passed Triad Bootcamp. So I'm going to play it for you, and when and if you're ready, you come back to this moment, and you play it with me. All right, I'm going to play the top 3 in all their variations, and then the next 3 in all their variations. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I can do it. Next. 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 Go into open position. Not quite open. Last one, can I do it? We did it. That's Triad Bootcamp. That is one 3-chord song in really 1, 2, 3 positions, with the 4th being the octave of the open position. If you can do that, you have a pretty good idea of triads. Well, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this was a good pace. Let me know if it was too fast or it was too slow. And download that PDF with all the extra materials. This will be much easier if you have something in front of you to look at. So definitely make sure to check that out. And let me know what you think about the tuning issues. Do you run into this? Is this something you've seen before? I've played around with sweetened tunings and fiddling a little bit, but it's a tricky little game that we're playing on this guitar. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you next week for another guitar lesson.